What's up, friends? How's everyone doing? Where we at? How's this looking? Like that? Yeah, that's about right. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Oh, I'm getting absolutely steamrolled by allergies, but we're here. We're we're functional. And today I want to play with some new ideas. So let's go ahead and we're gonna do Project IDX today. And what Project IDX is it's a way for us to do like cloud. It's a cloud IDE. It's effectively exactly what it sounds like. It is a no. Why would it sound like anything? It doesn't sound like anything. What it is a did that just work? What if we just give up on that one? Are these functional? Show me live anything. Is it doing the thing? Can't tell if this is functioning. Did the stream update work? Can you all see it? Can't tell if... Okay, I'm just updating it manually. Give me just a moment while I get this all sorted. Okay, it worked on YouTube. I'm going to assume that Twitch says, let's give Project IDX a try, and we're just going to roll with that. So, okay, what's going on? What's up, Vinny? What's up, Michael? So today is a big day. I am so excited because we got to launch season 2 of the Web Dev Challenge. And so season 2 of the Web Dev Challenge is one of those things, it's been underway for so long. We started work on the studio in like November. And it's been the building, it's been the planning, it's been the filming itself. We changed, so we kept the core of the show, like the format is the same, but we wanted to see if we could take it a little bit further. And so the big things for me were like, I wanted more collaboration, because the fun part of Web Dev Challenge to me is that it's an opportunity to just play, and we can do something that we normally wouldn't do and give it a try. And it's kind of low stakes, but it's a real project. And so it just ends up being kind of a fun way to like do something without having to commit to a full side project or having to get it all exactly right. You can just sort of screw around, and that's actually part of that's like the goal, right? Is play and have fun and make your friends laugh. But what I really wanted to happen was I wanted more kind of interactivity, more play. And so we added teams. So this season, we are doing 2 developer teams. And I was a little nervous when we first rolled this out, but I'm not nervous anymore. I think it was exactly the right call. I loved the way that it changed the dynamic. Like, you'll even see a comment from me in this first episode about how when people were on last season, and I'm very guilty of this, you'd kind of get to like the 2.5-3 hour mark, and you'd be like, you know what, I want to make sure I finish. I'm going to cut a ton of scope. And you would see people go from these like big elaborate ideas to sort of, or I just need something to run. And so they would cut the demo and cut the demo, cut the demo. And on the team environment, we filmed 4 of these now. And the teams it's a completely different ballgame, because when somebody starts to have a moment of doubt, their teammates there, right? And so they have to say, all right, I think we need to cut scope. And the teammate's like, no, don't worry, we got this. Like, trust me, we can pull this off. And it's like it feels so different. It feels so good. And you know, I just, yeah, I haven't been building this season. I'm acting as more of an advisor, as if we were doing like an arced season, I would be a judge. And oh my goodness, um, these teams are killer. Like I leave with so much energy. I'm like so ready to go build stuff and try things. Um, so yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. Let me throw a link up real quick for everybody so you can give it a watch because it rules. And let's put this up on the screen. Yeah, go watch that. Please go watch that. Go watch it, share it, leave a comment, tell your friends, post it in your work chat, in your communities that you hang out in. This show is really important to me, and you know, the algorithm depends very heavily on things like interaction and how long you watch it for, and all that stuff. So anything you can do to nudge it in the right direction, make sure that it goes and shows it to more people, is it really does mean a lot. So thank you for everybody who's already watched it. Um, what's up? Yeah, what's up, Mosley? What's going on? Music Forever, good handle. Yeah, I'm really glad the show is back too. It's been you know, we've been watching it for a really long time, and being able to bring it back is just a great feeling. What's up, Matt? How you doing? What's up, Bridgewater? What's going on, Rukaya? Thanks, Charles. I appreciate it. Yeah, Jacob, the Mux shirt is making an appearance today. You will see a Mux episode coming soon on Web Dev Challenge. That was also a very fun one, a very silly one. I think that's episode 3, if I'm remembering order correctly. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. Okay, so here's what I want to do today. I have been talking to the team at Google, specifically around a project called IDX, and they are trying to build like a cloud IDE. So it's a cloud hosted version of VS Code. It's got, you know, the stuff you would want in the browser. Let me get this banner up here. There it is. Let me hide this little guy. Okay. And so let's find project IDX. Here it is. It's idx.dev. And it's now Firebase Studio. So we're going to go into Firebase Studio, I guess. I guess we'll just link straight to Firebase Studio. How about that? let me go over to Firebase Studio. And that, I guess, means I should probably rename this episode again. Didn't know they were renaming it. Let's see, Firebase. Firebase Studio. Go. Okay, so I gotta edit these real quick, so bear with me. Okay, that should put us in good shape here. So all right, so we're looking at Firebase Studio, and what I'm hoping to do here, and we're gonna see how this goes, is I'm gonna see if I can. So what I'm hoping to do is I just rebuilt my personal site. So Jason.energy just got a refresh, and you know, I did some fun stuff with it. Kept some of the things that I loved, some of the things that I didn't keep, like the boop drop, I would love to bring back. I did this like bento layout for the links that I really like, and then I've got this media kit down here. I did kind of like this effect. So it sort of focuses on the one that you're hovered on, dims everything else, and then when you go off, it kind of dims everything a little bit, but what I want to do with this is I want right now you just kind of click through to the full resolution photo, which is fine. But what I'd like to do is instead of this hover down here, I think I want these to open in a modal, and I want to use the popover API to do that. So here's what I'm planning on doing today. I would like to, I want to fix this. This is supposed to have a oh, this is supposed to be a link too. So yeah, this is broken, and I need to fix this. And this, I would like to set up the popover API. And I want to do that trying out Firebase Studio. So I'm going to see if I can import this repo. And let's see. Let's just see how it goes. So there's the repo. Toss it in here. Prompted for credentials. Yeah, that's fine. It's not a Flutter app, so we're going to import. I accept. This feels very small. Okay. Thought I edited you. There it is. So what this should do, if unless there's been some big changes since it became Firebase Studio, is it will initialize more or less a VS Code instance. Yeah, here it is. So here's our VS Code. And then in here, I should have everything that I would expect from a VS Code instance. And let's see, generate a default IDX configuration. Sure. Sure. I do want to install the Astro extensions. Okay, so this is running the npm install over here. And then what I believe just happened is we get this this like dev.nix. And I don't know that this does anything right out of the gate. I think it's just sort of like if I'm trying to do this thing. And then we've got Gemini over here if we want to try and do that. Let's just rebuild the environment and see what happens. What's up, Sarad? How you doing? Have any of y'all ever tried IDX or even heard of it? Give me a little like reaction in the chat if you've heard of IDX or used it before. Okay, so I have no idea what that just did. So we're gonna see how this goes. And now the promise of this is, and this is the part I'm not sure about. I believe I can npm run dev in here, and it should give me a running site. But how would I view this? Right, so this is running and that's fine, but like how do I preview it? Environment variables, I don't need any of those. Extensions, previews. Ah, okay, here we go. So I need to set up this port. And the way that's gonna work is, let's see, so we'll do uncomment all that. npm run dev is what I want. It's gonna be web. It's gonna have I don't know what port is supposed to be, but I'm just gonna 4321 it so that it hits the right port here. Let's rebuild this environment one more time. And then theoretically speaking, this is gonna try. All right, so Matt, you've tried it. Dav, I'm gonna assume you've heard of it. Charles has heard of it. Got a couple first timers. Music Forever. You know, the prompting stuff is not something that I'm super familiar with, so I don't do a lot with it in general. Um, so we'll see if I even notice that, right? So how does one run? No, that's not it. Run task. And what if I just like npm run dev? Let's, we won't scan. We'll just let it run. Now let's see if this one, does this get picked up, or is there like a special IDX thing that I have to do? Okay, so that, as far as I can tell, that didn't actually like start the thing the way I was hoping for. So we are going to then, oh, here's my web preview. So it just starts in its own tab over here, which is interesting. If the server looks to be started, what does this mean? Share preview link, copy preview URL. What if I just go and hit this directly? Okay, let's dig in here a little bit and see what's going on. Bad gateway. Do I have to make it public or something? Okay. Is it because I stopped this server? Or no, web is over here. Starting preview. Hot reload, full reload, hard restart. Let's hard restart. Okay, but so this should then be working, but it's not. So let's do, all right, there's probably a way to set this up. Let's figure this out. Create Astro. That's, well, that's interesting, but it doesn't solve the issue of how do we start it. Let's see. Oh, I'm having Firefox problems. Yeah, I should probably like run Firefox and check things. I'm definitely not currently doing that. Okay. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out and see why this isn't working. Here's an Astro template in here. Create Astro template. Okay, this is less interesting to me. What I want, template. I want to see how the actual web part is set up. IDX workspace, previews web, port. Do I need to do this hostname thing? Previews enable true. So let's go see if I have that. Let's previews enable true. Previews are web. Command. That's the command. And then we need to do this part here. Well, in the port, we can probably leave alone because we know it's going to be 4321. But we're going to include this host name and see if that makes a difference. So let's rebuild. Might be that localhost stuff doesn't work. Come on, buddy. Did it skip this host name? Oh, I think I need. I think I might need one of these because it looks like it's still on there. So let's see one more time. We're gonna get there. Maybe we'll get there. We'll do our best. I'm choosing to believe. It's pollen season in it definitely in Portland. I'm not sure how it is where you are, but man, I'm getting rocked. I feel like I can't breathe through my nose. Got junk in my lungs. It's a big old mess. Okay, so now look at this. So we've got our host name coming through. And that should work. So what's missing? Like, what are we? Something's not right, and I don't know what it is. Okay, let's go back to Firebase Studio, and let's see if this template test does the preview that I want. Because I set this one up with David from the IDX team, who hopefully he's over on. Yeah, I'm on. So I stream on YouTube is the primary target, and then I syndicate that to LinkedIn, Twitch, and X. So I'm everywhere. But if you want to be on the main one, quote unquote, YouTube is the spot, the Code TV YouTube channel. Remember to hit that like button and leave a comment and subscribe and all those things because the algorithm is fickle and it can't know you're enjoying something if you don't tell it. So come on, buddy, let's do this. I want to believe this is going to work. Do it. So Michael, thank you for coming over. All right, see now this, it didn't do anything. So it still doesn't have the web part. So that doesn't help me. Come on, man. What are we doing here? We're getting into, let's see if Gemini knows how to do this. I click on this, let's do this part, and then I do, what is it, Command I? Update this to start the Astro Dev server in a Firebase Studio web preview. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so it's turning off the web dev stuff. And if I accept this, it got rid of the port entirely. I feel like this didn't do what I want. You know what? We're gonna try it. Let's verify before we say things. I know this is the whole thing, right? It's like it's the game you got to play, because if you don't tell people, it's whatever's top of mind. And so if you are reliant on algorithms for your income, like I am, then you got to tell people how it works. So yeah, sorry for being a YouTuber, but it right, just do a bunch of those. Okay. So what did I just do? I rebuilt, and so theoretically speaking, if this did what I want it to do, and it didn't, it's not doing the thing. Okay. Where would I find this information? Because like this one's not there. And per package man, and this one I don't know. Actually, maybe it's up here. Per package manager, npm. So this is the npm run dev with the double dashes. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna copy this exactly. We're gonna use the port command. We're gonna do all of it, and we're gonna see if we can get this to run. So it's npm run dev, and then it's the double dashes, and then it's all this. So we get our port, we get all that, and our port that we're gonna use down here is going to be 4321. We're just gonna rock that. We're gonna see how it goes. It does not. It does. Okay. So this then, theoretically speaking, is going to solve all of my problems, because this is what the IDX example repo does. Couldn't build your environment. Launch recovery. Uh-oh. So I have a typo. Is the problem build failure recovery, web port is not of type string. Okay, that's an easy one to fix. Okay, well, that was helpful that it recovered, because that would have been real confusing if it didn't. I mean, if you look back in my YouTube thumbnail history, you'll see some of that. Oh yeah, hold on, let me go full screen for this one. Or wait, it's got to be this way. Right? Got to get some of those. Meme away with those, my friends, meme away. Okay, let's bring this back up. I believe in us. I believe that this is, hey, look at it go. Okay, so if I'm being completely honest, I don't know. Let's see what changed. So we set the port, right? I thought I did that before. So we set this port to the one that is set in the port, and then we set this host name to zeros. So it could be that I typoed something in here before. It could be that not setting this port somehow it like defaulted, but it wasn't getting picked up by IDX because we didn't specify like port goes to port. And that way it didn't know to try it. But now that we've done it, look at us go. We've got a functioning web preview. So this is pretty slick. Like I'm happy with that. That's cool. So let's see. We can take this. So let's do the first thing, the easiest piece here, which is on this side, I have a plan for what I want to do with this blog. And that's going to live over in the jason.energy. And right here. Okay, but I hate this blog thing. I didn't do a good job with this. I was like trying stuff and I'll just say it didn't do what I wanted. So let's go in here, let's get this guy, and we're just gonna take these out. I still don't know if I love that. Like, you know when something's close, but you're just not quite there. It's fine. We're gonna live with it. So this is good enough for now. I'm going to it's fine. So what I did for this first one was I just kind of did it like this. And so we're going to say, create that. We're going to export it. Then we're going to go over to Cloudinary. And get in there. Got 100 million things going on in here. Okay, so then we're going to drop this right in here. And now we're going to go back into Firebase Studio, where we shall fix this. So I'm going to go into the File Explorer. I want to go to my components because it's my links component that's doing the thing. And I'm feeling like I want this to be in a separate window just because it's pretty big and I don't want to look at the responsive part of it. So I'm going to put this into a new window. And if I'm understanding correctly how this is going to work, when I close these down, we should be in pretty good shape here. Do I have the ability to change my color theme? Yes, please. Preferences, color theme, and we're on Night Owl. Night Owl. Okay, much. What? No. I want to close you. There. Okay, that makes me happier. Make things a little bit bigger. Move. How do I relocate my... Move panel right. Nope, that's not it. This is the panel that I wanted to be on. Primary sidebar to the right. Good. You need to go back to bottom. Fine. Good. Okay, now it looks like my VS Code, and I feel much better. So, we can come back and... Okay, that's a muscle memory thing that'll be hard for me, is that my shortcut for like closing tabs wants to close the site. And so I'm going to need to get over that. So let's go into links.astro. And then down here, we've got the blog. And what I did on this one is we just did this image. And so I'm going to take this image, we're going to move it down here, and we're going to drop in this image that we just, whoops, this image. And it looks like all I did on this one was auto it and set the quality to auto. Whoa. Read Jason's blog. Okay, so then out here, now we've got, ta-da, like pretty cool, right? So happy about that. Feeling good there. And it's still not linked though, so let's fix that link. So that needs to be linked to the blog. And now it is linked to the blog. Did I break it or is it slow? Might be slow. Fetch failed. Didn't fail that time. Okay, so that works. Good. Okay. So thing one, fix. Let's commit it. We're going to go in here. We are going to say update the blog link and graphic. Are you gonna let me do this if I put in my GitHub credentials? I feel like it needs me to do activating extensions. Okay, so now that you've are you still activating? Source control. Do I have to sign in? Attempting to reconnect. Now, is that my... Let's see what happens. I might have just... I don't know what I just did, but let's see if maybe it just needed a quick restart. Because I did do the GitHub thing, I think. Let's see. It's warm in here. I'm going to open this window. Hold, please. There we go. That's nicer. I can kind of breathe in here. I don't know what's going on. Let's try this one more time. Okay. I believe in you. Might have to abandon ship on this if this doesn't pick itself up here because we're 40 minutes in. I'm gonna hard refresh one more time just to see. Is there a console error? Is something going wrong? Okay. All right. So I think maybe we'll back away from Firebase Studio right now. I think maybe the machine got caught in a loop or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it looks like it's not going to do what we want. So instead, let's open it locally. We're going to close this one. Swap this one for. Let's see. Just in case, let's see if I actually made that change. No, we're already up to date. Okay. Let's make sure everything is up to date. Oh, we got a minor on Astro. Oh, it's Astro release week. Did they what did they drop today? Oh, that was the wrong. That's not how it works. Okay, so what's in 5.7? Let's take a look. Did they say what 5.7 is? Here we go. Fonts API, Sessions API, SVG components. Okay, that's cool. And config imports. Okay. So, man, why is everybody's font so dang small? Can't read a dang thing. Let's bigger. Fonts API. So we can do fonts. We drop in who the providers are. So this is really cool because I hope what this is doing is optimizing them for you because there's a bunch of silly font stuff that you have to do that causes you, yeah, like doing this right is not hard, but you have to do it. And if you don't, it just like slows everything down a little bit. So doing that for you is really nice. Sessions API is cool. I like this. So this obviously requires servers, but it is pretty slick to be able to do that. Type safety, no cookie sessions, which is going to be important as the cookie stuff continues forward. Storage drivers is pretty interesting. What does that mean? So we've got, oh, interesting. Okay. Unstorage drivers. Got node. You can use nullify blobs, the KV. Sick. I like it. Their upgrades are always just like turning off the experimental flags. That's nice. SVG components. All right, this is cool. So if you just import an SVG, it becomes an SVG or becomes a component. That is really nice. I was used to that in, I don't know what flavor of React does that. Maybe it's Vite. I know that there was a Babel plugin for it way back in the day, or a Webpack plugin for it. But that's slick. Okay, cool. So this is very cool. Let me do the upgrade here. If you want to read about what's new in 5.7, You can find that on the blog, the Astro blog. So let's dive back in. Let's close this one, close that one. We can close this one and we'll close that one. And then that's going to allow me to npm upgrade. And then we will start the dev server and we'll make that blog change real fast. And then let's get into this popover stuff that I want to do. Can you hear my voice getting increasingly more gravelly? If I could fist fight Pollen, I would. I'm not a violent person, but like I'd punch Pollen right in the face. Like it's kind of, it like makes me giggle that we are like humans have done such a good job of kind of taking over every aspect of their environment. They're able to make rocks think, and they're able to fly in the face of gravity, and then like a tree opens up a flower and we're just brought to our knees, just brought low by the mating cycle of a plant. Okay, npm run dev, and now 4321. All right, let's get back in here. Let's fix this this blog link one more time. We're going to do that in the links component, and that's going to be blog. So we're going to take this guy. Whoa, buddy. How about you don't do whatever it is? Oh my God. You could just not. Okay. And then somewhere in here is post. So we'll do the file type quality, and then or file type auto, quality auto, so that we get what I assume is going to be probably an avif. What type do they deliver? WebP. So here's our response headers. The content type is image WebP. So I uploaded a PNG and it sends back a WebP, and now gotta actually update that link. Come back down here, and there we go. Okay, so thing one. Let's open up that source control again, and we're going to upgrade depths, and then let's fix log link. Okay, push those. Those will start going live as we work on this next piece, which is going to be a little more in depth, which is the media section. And so the way the media section works is I have put together this big array that's just my images. And now I could do this a bunch of different ways. I could put this into Astro's content collections. I could put these in a database and load them from somewhere else. Probably I should do something like, I feel like maybe a long-term goal would be to have some sort of an API, because they're like, it would be nice for me personally to be able to load sets of images for demos, sets of videos for demos, sets of like blog posts and other information as a way to just like have data to work with in demos. And maybe that would be useful to somebody else if they needed just some images. I don't know why anybody else would want a bunch of pictures of my face, but if you needed it, it would be there. And putting that into some kind of API would be nice because then I could also like there's some caching stuff we could do but this is all done on the build, so it's not like this is impacting the load time. And we're using unpix image, which will kind of do the lazy loading and all that stuff for us. And the other thing I should do, I just realized, is I should aspect ratio. We're going to set this to 1. And we'll set the width to 500 because we weren't getting all the benefits. So the other thing that I should probably do is like set up a placeholder, and our placeholder is going to be, let's go blur hash. This is all processing right now, so you can kind of see how it's building out the blur hash. Now, if I reload, apparently that's going to go just as slow on the dev server, which isn't great. What's going on there? I don't love that that's taken as long as it does. Let's peek in here and see what's going on. So here's the setup. It gives us a source set. The intrinsic size ends up being 500 by 500. The rendered size is 259 square. And the intention, obviously, is to give us double pixel density. And I'm going to live with that for now because I don't want to like debug why that's taking a long time. If that's doing that on the live site, then it's going to be a whole issue. Watched the latest Elite Heat challenge and got 1,200 points in all. Hell yeah, good job. That's a great score. Thank you. I appreciate that. And as a reminder to anybody who's just now joining, Web Dev Challenge Season 2 is live. I'm so happy with it. Let me just do a quick little shout out to that. Season 2, Episode 1. Uh-oh. Oh, right, because it's the .link. You know when you do something and you're like, man, I'm clever. I'm having maybe shouldn't have been so clever. I do like having a separate URL for links though. Although I would love it if this one would function. What's going on? I don't know. Maybe my network is being weird because like everything seems like it's being strange right now. But anyways, this episode was so dang fun. We've got 3 teams. Sterling and I were the advisors. You will find a point in the video where I go into sport mode. I hope you enjoy that because I enjoyed it. So so here's what I want to do. I want the experience that I want to happen is I want when you click on one of these videos, I want to do a full page, like a full viewport popover. I want that popover to show the image at a higher resolution. I also want it to provide some controls for downloading the image at a few different resolutions. So probably what I'll do is have like a headshot version where we zoom into the face. We'll have a web version where we scale it for, I don't know, say like 1,200 pixels, and then a full resolution version where it will give it the full, I think a lot of these are 4,000 or 6,000 pixels. They're huge. So that way, if somebody is, I don't know, if I'm speaking at a conference and they want to print some collateral, they can get the full res photos. If I am going to be on somebody's podcast, they don't have to like download the full res and then edit it. And if somebody just wants a headshot, they can grab one of those really quickly. I've made a shortcut, and I'm really curious to see if this still works on the new site. It should. It doesn't. No. Oh, sorry. That's because it's a public thing. Headshot. There it is. So I've also made this this redirect. So if you go to jason.energy/headshot, it will pull up my headshot, and I got to decide if I'm going to keep that one or if I want to use like one of these instead. Because this I like this one still, but that one is from When was that one from? The link isn't working. This Code TV link isn't working. Code TV link. You know, I think the network might have hiccuped because it's working now. It was not working for a moment for me either. Please give it another try. Let me know if that's still the case, and we can go sort it out. So yeah, so first things first here. Let's go look at how the popover API works. And the way that I want to use this, an example. Okay, so this is kind of like a general idea of how this will work. Let's see. So you put like any element, you put a popover attribute on it, and then you just style internally, and then you've got your backdrop, and the backdrop, you can do anything you would do on a standard thing. So this one's got the blur filter, and I like that. Does this one have any like... Yeah. So what I should be able to do then is, upon clicking one of these things, I want to update the component with the clicked... How do we want to do this? I want to update the component with the clicked images details. And the way that's going to work is... got the image source here, so I can kind of do all the stuff that I would want. This is the full res version. So I think what I can do then is I can just drop one of these out here, and we'll say, I guess this would just be like a div, and it's gonna say, are there any accessibility concerns? You're getting a white blank page on... You're getting a white blank page on Code TV? Oh, crap. Does the homepage work? Try that one and see if that's loading for you. And I guess like this one as well would be, this is the direct link, if you want to try that one and see if that... Because I don't know if it's my redirect is failing or if it is the Code TV site. If you want to give those a try and let me know. Homepage works. Okay. And then if you click through on the homepage to get to Web Dev Challenge here, that works. Then it might just be that I need to go kick my redirect and see what's going on there. It's frustrating that that's not doing what I want it to do. Okay, so yeah, we're going to start here. We're going to say popover. Then we are going to, let's style this to do what I want it to do. It worked for you, Vinny? Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if there's some kind of like network hiccup happening, because the fact that it was that slow for me, the fact that Google wasn't able to load the cloud IDE, like it was a lot of jank happening in a very short window, which makes me wonder if maybe there's some kind of weird thing going on that's making networks misbehave. Certainly could be a million other things, but who knows? Who knows? But the fact that it's inconsistent, like it's working for me, it's working for Vinny, it's not working for Sir Ad or Baz, that's confusing to me. I don't understand why that would be happening. Okay, so we're gonna set this up, and I am going to... we're gonna hard code this for now. And the way that I'm gonna do that is I'm going to take the media at 0. We're gonna take the image source. And I'm gonna copy that, swap it out for the alt. And I'm gonna say this one gets a width of, go 1400 and a height of, do I want to go square or do I want to go, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Let's play and see. So let's try 1200 and see what happens if we do it that way. And we'll say placeholder is going to be blur hash. And then down here, we want, it's going to be our options. And I want these to have, so we'll just kind of start without the details, and we'll say, thumbnail crop, web size, full resolution, whoa. Oh my God, what are you doing? Okay. At photographer name, all right, so theoretically speaking, I just set this to open so that we can style it. That's not right. Is that it? That's not it. How do you mark it as open? Pop over target action, pop over open. A modal, oh, I should be using a dialog. And then I think that takes the open attribute is what I was getting wrong. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Where is, are you just getting completely cooked by this? Can I help you? Like, are you just regenerating that on every, you are. That was the problem. It was regenerating those blur hashes on every single page load, which seems like a bug. So we're gonna open an issue for that, I think. But in the meantime, let's get this dialogue rocking. So we're going to down here just start our styles for the dialogue. And I could probably do this a lot of different ways. I think the way that I'm going to do it right now is the long way, and then we might extract this out into a component. We'll see how it goes. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give this higher Z index so it comes out forward like that. Good. Then we're going to AD, not add. So I want this to be, I want this to fill the screen, and then I want the image to be like relative to that. So I think the way that this will work is we are going to make it a container, and we're going to say media popover, and we'll set it to size. And then I'm going to set max inline size will be 90, and max block size is going to be 90. What's that? Dynamic viewport block units. We alphabetize, and then this opens and it just fails. Oh, it's stuck there. Okay. Why did that happen? That happened because it... Oh, because the container just smashes the whole thing down. Don't know about that. Let me actually update the banner because that's not what we're doing anymore. We are working on Jason.energy. Pop over. Let's get so what do I want? I mean, what am I going for here? I want this to be like that looks pretty good to me if we do it that way. So then is it inline size is 90 and block size is 90 dVB. Okay, and then we'll set aspect ratio, and that would be what? We set it to like 1400 by 1200. So that's closer. So if we like give ourselves 100 pixels for forgot you can just roll. So if we give ourselves 100 pixels for our nav, now we've got kind of a thing going here. This looks the way that I want it to look. What I don't have yeah, this is fine. So we're gonna throw this in here. And so we'll have to go back and fix all these magic numbers, but this feels okay for now. Then let's update our options, and we're gonna go display flex. We'll do justify content and channel Dave Matthews. And then we will see how that feels. right, so that already feels better. Then we have in here A and our P are both going to be margin 0. They are both going to have yeah, that feels all right. And then I mean, what if I just simplify this? Let's go up here, do one of these, and then do one of these, those. Now we've got all links, and then if I come in and I just make these all into my like fake button style. Woof. Not like that. Okay. So that's going to require fixing. Actually, get rid of that. And let's instead take our fake button, and we're going to go with font size, and that's going to be clamped to 1 rem at the smallest, and then maybe 2 CQI. And the biggest we'll go is maybe 2 rem. Okay, that's better. Still not great. Let's maybe manually tune this one. .5 looks all right. Not mad at it. Oh, that dropped to the 1 though. Why does this look so bad? Like what's... Doesn't seem right. It seems like it's doing something weird. I also don't know that that's the look that I'm going for. Maybe we just hit it with a hammer for a moment. Let's just kind of keep rocking on this part here. And what color should this be? 600. Looks all right. Did you do my... That's not getting my border radius though. Border radius didn't... Oh, because I said border, not border radius. There's the border radius. Okay, and then we can set the border itself to, I don't know, let's start at none and nah, that doesn't seem right. We're gonna go with 1 pic solid. Maybe you are a 700. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, so we're doing subtle stuff with the like border radius being pretty narrow and all that good stuff. Am I making a baseball card? I'm making the plan here is to end up with a like a when you click on the media gallery, I want there to be a bit of a, you know, here's more information about what's going on. Instead of just dumping you straight to a full res image, because I think people might want like a web version or a full res version as opposed to a So why is it doing that? That's interesting that like they all light up at the same time. That's weird. But yeah, so kind of give folks a few options of what resolution they need in case they're doing it for print materials versus web materials, et cetera, et cetera. Let's get this backdrop rocking. I feel like I want to do the thing, the backdrop. And it was, what was it? Backdrop, filter, blur. That didn't do it. Just need to go outside. No, that's not it. I'm doing it wrong. Backdrop filter. Just backdrop. You should. My backdrop's not being styled at all. Do I have to global this? Whoa. No, that's not it either. Why wouldn't that work? What's going on? Do I have to set something? Global popover. Backdrop. Backdrop. You are just not picking that up at all. And I don't know why. Still not, it's like not arriving at all because it should be showing up right about here. So something is causing it to like not render at all. And I wonder, does it need to be tab index must not be used? Yeah, that's fine. Show modal, but where's the backdrop? I want to see if a dialog is opened using the open attribute. Oh, it's non-modal. Okay. So the problem is that backdrop doesn't show up at all when it is non-modal, which means we need to add the clicky bit. And so we can do that. And the way we're going to do that is we are going to just add a script here. So we'll just do this in the regular old browsery way. So I'm going to say const map the photos. So that way we've got something to grab onto. And then down in our script, we're going to say photos equals document dot query selector all. And then we will photos for each. Add an event listener. And so for right now, we're just going to kind of let it be. We'll come back to this momentarily and like grab out the photo details. But for right now, what I want to do is I want to get the dialog. Say modal. And that's going to be document dot query selector. And that'll be our media. And this will be media. This will be modal. Is it toggle open? We should call this dialog. That is going to show modal. And then theoretically speaking, whenever I click one of these, it's going to open that up. Okay, great. And it did open this up, but our backdrop is not being picked up, despite our backdrop being down here. So does that mean it needs to be inside here? No, not that. Let's try. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's got to be global. Okay, so backdrop has to be global. Backdrop has to be global for it to work. A baseball card idea is kind of fun. That would be an interesting way to like let people do like stats. How would that work? You'd need there's something funny in there. Like we could have a good time with that because people could make their own baseball cards and we come up with different stats and you could do all that. Then the interesting thing would be how would you collect them? And like there's something there. There's something good there. Just have to be like careful about how you structure that because you don't want to make it weird where it's like assigning rarity or something. Like if you because you don't want to create hero worship. That's always a thing that I worry about. And you know, so you wouldn't want people running around trying to collect the Kelsey Hightower card and it makes Kelsey feel weird because I don't know, it's kind of one of those whole things. But it could be very fun to if you get the balance right on that. What's up, Ricard? Thanks for hanging out. I opened the window because it was too hot and the pollen has arrived. If you're wondering why I'm snuffling, it's because I'm getting my ass completely handed to me by a tree. Okay, so how are we doing on time? We're like halfway through. I probably need to end a little bit early today. Because I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna do something fun with Cassidy Williams, and she wants that to start around noon. So probably go to like another hour or so today. Let's see. just checking to make sure I didn't miss anything important because it is a launch day and gotta keep an eye on those things. Excellent. Okay. All right. Everything's fine. Everything's great. Even what a day, man. Huh. Have I said in the last 10 minutes how much I like that this is my job? I get to hang out with y'all and like make web dev challenge and do all this goofy stuff. I don't even care that my sinus feels like a water balloon that's gonna bust out of my head at any second. I'm just happy to be here. Let's make this look less terrible. The way we're going to do that is I want to get at this backdrop, and I want this backdrop to have, let's go with a background, and I want it to be, we're going to color mix in OKLCH, and I want to use our, I have a white, yes, and I'm going to make it like 10% white, and we'll use transparent for the rest. And then let's just kind of mess with this value until we get one that looks right. Maybe, because like 50 is way too, well, actually, maybe it's not. Because what I'm thinking is it like centers what's going on the screen. I could also, whoa, I don't want to do that. I could also use, I could like dim everything around it, but it's already pretty dark back there. So it kind of, it doesn't do us a lot of good to dim it like that. Unless we go like all the way dark. Well, maybe that's okay. Let's see. I think that's all right. And then what I want to do is make these less bad. And the way we're going to make them less bad. Why isn't this border showing up? Is a great question. Let's make it a much lighter color. Yeah, that border's not showing up at all, is it? Do dialogue elements not have a border? Pick solid. Computed. Computer. See, this is the borders getting overridden here. Border width, border width. Styles, colors. Yeah, all those are getting overridden somehow. Like, do I need to do something special to make that? What if I just hit it as hard as I can? Nothing. Like, I'm not losing my mind, right? No, it's doing it, but that color is not coming through. Huh. What are my... Gray 100. That is not what I'm doing down there. What is... I have a style that I like in the links. Guess I should just go look at it and figure out what I'm doing. There's my item. And that's got weird stuff going on. Is that because I had an important hack that it was cooperating? No, this is look at this goofy thing. Like, what is that? Oh, still 10 picks is why. Okay, so that's more of what I was after. This is all so subtle. I don't know if anybody can even see what I'm going for, but it's important to me because I know it's there. I do love cocaine. What a great little spot. I know. Merch is one of those things. It's like it's on my list, but there's just so much that I want done, and I and also everything costs money. Like at the end of the day, it's like to make the merch requires startup capital, and right now I'm putting all that capital into making new stuff. So the short answer is I want it to happen. I'm going to do everything in my power to make it happen. If you want it to happen faster, the fastest way to help is to help me spread the word, help get people to become Code TV supporters. If you have $5 a month to throw in and become a supporter, it makes an enormous difference. I know not everybody does, but it is certainly appreciated. Yeah, who has money anymore? Good point. So let's see. All right, I'm feeling a little better about that. This is starting to do what I want it to do. We need a close button. I need to fix these buttons. These buttons look like crap, and I'm not happy with them. And I'm wondering, what's the solution here? I want these to look good, is the short answer. For them to look good, they need to look not bad. Okay, so that's getting us a little closer. Let's just make it white. And then whoa, not that. 300. 400. 200? 300. Then okay, so I think I just need to take this fake button class off. I think I'm not happy with it in general. So I'm going to take this off. think what we're going to do instead is we're going to just style these directly. Whoa. Why are you doing that? How did my buttons work? I know this works. I've done this before. What button am I pushing right now? I don't know why I can't get that to function. There's like a shortcut that I use constantly that is not doing the thing. And yes, I absolutely must get these in alphabetical order. My brain will not allow it not to be so. We're going to take this fake button class off because I think it was a bad choice. We're going to, okay, so that immediately looks a little bit better. Something's going weird in there. What is that? Okay, so our options need a gap of 4 pixels. We need padding of, I believe, 4 pixels. Let's see. Immediately gets us a little bit closer. Oh, that was my outline that made it look weird. That makes sense. So it kind of gives us the keyboard focus as soon as we come in. I like that. That's actually, that is pleasant. I like that a lot. So then we set these. I want the color to be gray 700, gray 800. Yeah, we can do text decoration. None. Much better. Then once we get to active focus hover, let's make the outline offset a little bit bigger. Okay, I like that. And let's make the background color not that. What are my options? I'm gonna go blue, pink. I guess let's go pink because that's what we've been using. And then set the color. Yeah, that looks better. I like that. Feels all right. And then we need what happens next? I think I want that font weight back at 400 now that we're not using the other font. Yeah, I think that's better. And let's see. One second. Losing my mind over here. I could have sworn I heard something. It was the rustle of my lighting setup here. How many hats do I own? What a fabulous question. 30, 40? I've been accumulating hats for decades at this point. I guess none of my hats are that old now. I've got a few hats that are probably like 15 years old ish. And that sound is driving me. What is that? Nobody panic. It's outside. Yeah, I have a whole shelf dedicated to hats, and it's like a, the shelf is yay tall, and I probably 6 or 8 feet long, and it's just like hats lined up, and the whole thing is so full that I have hats stacked on top of each other. So I have a lot of hats. I really do. What framework or tech stack do you think I'm most proficient at? I think like I reach for Astro because Astro is mostly web standards. Like you'll notice I'm writing regular CSS here. There's no magic stuff in here. And I'm using the dialog API, and this is vanilla JavaScript, and like all of this is very browser standard stuff. And so my preference is to reach for that when I can, and then if we needed something really interactive, I would probably reach for React for that. But I'm finding less and less reason to need it. Like you can kind of see here, we've got like up here, we've got this, this animation. This is being done fully with CSS. There's no JavaScript involved in making that work. All of the all of this stuff here is actually only CSS. There's no JavaScript involved in this part either, which is pretty cool, right? This is using a concept that I learned from Adam Argyle of letting radio buttons be used as a kind of like an input machine. So this is all being done with just an input. And then there's like some CSS stuff to make you can see that like the new words get highlighted in purple, that kind of stuff. Down here, this is all CSS grid. And I don't know why let me refresh this page because like there we go. All my hovers were being weird and I couldn't figure out why. So this is, all of these this is all CSS grid, and I was able to do stuff such as on here. Look at the responsiveness on this thing, by the way. Like, see it narrows up the photo when we're in a narrow window, widens up the photo when we're not, and then we get real small and pop. Now it's vertical. You keep getting smaller, and it pops again. Like, this is so like. Obviously I built this, so of course I'm gonna love it. It's like looking at your own kids, like you think they're the best, but like I think this is really freaking cool. And the fact that this isn't run with any JavaScript, it's not run with any framework specific stuff. This is just good old bog standard, plain old CSS. This makes me so happy. And then down here, same kind of thing. All these hovers. I've made this poor browser very tired. What is going on? You're not. What is going on? There's something strange happening here. I've managed to break here, this part here. This is all done again in CSS. And so I'm able to use like the not selector to say if it doesn't have hover, dim it. And if nothing is selected, then we have like a certain transparency. When one is selected, its transparency decreases. Everything that's not hovered, the transparency increases. So, or I guess vice versa. So it gets like everything that's not selected gets dimmer because we increase the transparency of, or we decrease the transparency of the overlay, and then we increase the transparency of the overlay on the one that's selected. Again, all CSS. Like it's so cool how much you can get done in these setups now, without any JavaScript. The only JavaScript we're using is the ability to open up these popovers. Like that's pretty freaking cool, right? Like I love that that's all it takes. There should definitely be assert on here. Yeah, it's here. Is it doing something? How do I get it to just like show me stuff? I don't know. I don't know how to get the cert details, but yeah. Anyways, so to answer your question, I have probably written more React than any other framework, but I've written more vanilla JavaScript than anything else because I've been writing JavaScript since before frameworks existed. I wrote JavaScript back in the days when we called it DHTML, and we, you know, jQuery hadn't even really come out yet, and I was struggling to get Netscape Navigator to do. Oh, I used to do the worst stuff. You want to hear the worst thing I ever did? I used to, on my band's website, I got all the news, like what we were working on and updates, and I would put them into the status bar of the browser, which is about, they don't even have status bars in browsers anymore, but it is functionally equivalent to putting a marquee in the title bar here. And that was how you read the news. So you just had to sit there and watch these items tick by to read what our band was up to. Did that in some good old hand-rolled JavaScript. Terrible things were happening on the web back in those days. Safari is saying it won't load. Let me see. You know, I'm wondering if something has gone squirrely here. Let me see if, because we've been having issues all day. Like the codetv.link site wasn't working. Let me see here. Let me try to open Safari. Safari. Let's go to jason.energy. I don't know. It's working for me. No errors here. So I don't know what's going on. Could be public Wi-Fi. Like maybe it's Coquine not cooperating. Yeah, I can't. At least on Safari on iOS, it's working as expected. So iOS, who's to say? Do I even have Safari on this computer? Let's see. I do. Ah, that blank screen. So looks like something. This part's fine. The SSL is there. But this is busted. That's not good. So that's okay. Well, let's come back to that once we get this popover thing running. Okay. So we're pretty close here. So I think let's get a close button working. And to do that, we're going to button ID close modal close. We'll give it like an and time signal. And then that'll pop up right there. Good. That's what I want. And then this close button is going to be document, query selector, close modal. And this one we can just hit close button. Add event listener. Click. And this one's going to be dialog. Close. Is it just close? Okay, so now that works, that's what I want. So let's make it look nice. And to make it look nice, we are going to, I think the way I want it to work is I probably just want this to sit right in the top. So we'll say position absolute, and we'll say inline end. What? Oh, is it like inset inline end, and then block or inset block start. Okay, so now our button's sitting up there, which is where I want it. And then we can say background is going to be white. Border is going to be transparent. Or we can just say none. Border radius will be 3 pixels. Padding is going to be 4 pixels, 8 pixels. Yeah. Font family. Inherit? No. What's the, I have a default in there probably. We'll just leave that. Then we're going to go font size is going to be 1 rem. Yeah, I think that's okay. Feels pretty good. Let's just pop that in and see how it feels. Okay. So now, didn't work at all. Oh, because it's a one of those. Okay, let's give it a cursor pointer so people know it does something when you hover over it. You know what? I'm okay with that. We're gonna be yeah, this is good. Font weight is 300, not 300 pixels. Yeah, fine. Happy. Everything's good. So yeah, the new CSS stuff is probably just being super weird. So I'll have to check for support and then not apply the yeah, because I'm animating to auto is what's happening. So that's probably not supported in Firefox and Safari. So what we can do is check if that's supported. And I know there's probably an add supports tag for it. And if it is, we'll add the extra styles. And if not, then we'll just let it be. We'll just have it start here. And that way it'll should work for everybody. But let's get this modal the rest of the way done. So now that we've got this, I'm going to call this good enough. So let's get real data in here. And the way that we're going to get real data in here is we are going to how are we going to do this? Because I want it to be this is a 2-beverage kind of question. So this is going to give me I think we're just going to have to kind of do something like this, and then we can just drop in each of the things. Yep. This part, I don't know how this is going to work because this is a piece. I won't be able, so that's rendered at build time. And it's got all those extra pieces in there. So this might not be possible to render. Well, if it was client-side rendered, then I could do what? If I was client-side rendered, then it like generate it from a template. But I don't really want to do that. So instead, I would need to either blow out all of the source and source set and sizes stuff that's getting generated, or I can show the main image at a particular crop and replace that. So let's just do that. We're just gonna do it that way. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm going to call that preview. And then we know we've got this. And so this then is going to give us yeah, I think this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go photo, image, source, and then data alt, photo, image, alt. Photo, image, photographer. name and data photo photographer site. Okay, so basically what we've done here is we've made it so that each of these photo containers has the basic info in the data set. So I can now access these like so. So down in here, for each of our elements, I can get the image source equals l.dataset. Now, why wouldn't you like that? What do you think you are? What's that? And an area element is like the data set is possibly undefined. Oh, because you are, that's what you're mad about. So this would be the source. Yes. Source alt photographer site. Okay. Whoops. Okay. So when we do this, what we're going to do is we are going to grab out our elements here. So we're going to get the, we need to get the image, and we're going to call this preview. And that preview is going to be document.query selector. And I just call it preview. And we're going to actually select these from inside the dialog. So we're going to just narrow our scope here and get just the stuff we need. So just in case. And then I need the thumb, web, full, and photographer. Thumb, web, full, photographer. Right? Photographer, full, web, thumb, and preview. Okay, so those all need to be updated with the new details. And the way that we are going to do that is we have our, so we've got our base URL, which is going to be this one. And that can live out here. And if I was being more responsible, I'd probably put this together as like an actual, whoops, as an actual URL. But I'm not gonna stress about it just yet because I feel like that's gonna add some complexity and make it hard to read the code, to be completely honest. So then for my preview and So we're going to go with F auto, Q auto, aspect ratio of we want like a 4x3. Let's try a 4x3 and see how that feels. And then we'll say a width of, I don't know, 1200 max. Crop, fill, and gravity of face. I think we'll do it. Okay. And then for the rest of these, we'll just do the regular link for now. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to say preview dot source equals what does that mean? Type void is not assignable. Expect the two argument here, that's fine. And this is going to be base URL plus preview transformations plus source, I think. We'll update the alt. And we'll just fall back just in case. Let's start there and just see if I can get it to update with the right image. Okay, see, it's that's close, but that's not what we want. We want it to be. So we need to like remove the. Oh, you know what we can do? Dialog dot. Well, actually, does this get faster as these get loaded? Because I think they're getting generated for the first time, which is part of why they're slow right now. And so they should be faster. It's still that flash, and I don't like that. So let's get the preview and just dump if I do that, what happens? Let's go to one that I haven't loaded yet. Okay, so that's better. And oh, you know what I should do is I should object fit contain those, and that way the full image shows up and it'll just be framed. That's okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what this does is this basically makes sure that the image doesn't show unless it's been set, or it won't like flicker the old image while you load it up. So that seems good. I'm happy with that. So let's do our other transformations here. So we've got thumb, and this one's going to be aspect ratio of 1, a width of, let's say, 400. And we're going to go with a crop of thumb. And then we have web and full. And so with full, I think all I'm going to do is just set the quality auto. Because we don't necessarily, actually, I think with that one, we can just leave it, right? Like that one actually, we're just going to do nothing. We're going to serve it as is, all fine. This one, we're not going to mess with the aspect ratio, but we're going to limit it to, we'll say 1600 pixels. And thumb, we already did. So Now down here, we can say thumb dot set attribute. Actually, thumb web full. Thumb web full. And in the full case, there is no full transformation, so we leave it. And in these cases, we need to include that it is an image element. Okay, so now what we should get is if I go to one of these and then I click web resolution. Oh, it's not. These aren't images. These are, duh. I knew that. Okay. So now down here, click one of these, go to web resolution, and it opens up the web resolution. And now that it's rendered, it should be nice and fast. Okay. Full resolution is going to be the big old image. Yep, that's the big one. And thumb resolution crops to my face. I love that Cloudinary stuff. That stuff is so cool. Okay. So sick. All right. So I'm happy about that. Let's update this photographer. And then we're going to be ready to rock. What time is it? 15? Okay. So photographer is a link. Yes? Yes. And you set attribute to photographer site. And photographer inner text is going to be text text content is what I want to set. That's right. And that's going to be set to photo by photographer name. Okay, so now this one should be solo. It is. This one should be Jason Hill. It is. And this one should be Amarin. And it is. Okay, perfect. So we got, oh, let me double check that these sites are working. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so pretty happy about that. I like this modal overlay is nice. Let's fix the display here, because what I want is object fit contain, and I actually don't want I don't want the preview to crop. In fact, I just want it to do one of those. So what'll end up happening here is that on a taller one like this, it gets all goofy, right? And then what I need to do is I need to actually set the image stuff so the aspect ratio is going to be 4:3. The block size is going to be auto. The inline size is going to be auto. It's going to be 100%. And the object fit is going to be contain. Did I do that right? Indeedly doodly, I did. Okay, so now we have different crops will show up correctly inside the window. Cool. I should probably make this 16 by 9 though, because I think most of them are 16 by 9. Yeah. Okay. Then this needs to not have the aspect ratio. And the block size should be auto, which is what I want. So the aspect ratio then should be more like a 16 by 1000. That seems about right. Let's and as we shrink those around, that seems okay. I could probably mess with it. Let's see. Yeah, we'll need to do some. Okay, that's going to get us closer though. So let's go here. This is going to be 16 by 1000. Why does that look bad? Ugh. 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 Why is it doing that? Low hidden. I don't know why that was wrapping. That was weird. Do. This feels good. I'm satisfied. Okay, so I like that. So let's fix mobile styles. Take it all the way down to 320. And what I want to do for this is I'm going to double rack the buttons. So we'll just let the flex wrap. And then we'll probably change the container resolution to be more like, okay. So where does this look good? Let's go out to there. I would say at about 700 it looks good. Yeah, why not? So then I can take this bit here. And what else? I think that might be all I need for now. So let's switch this up to be just a broader resolution when we get up this size. So we're 320. That didn't do what I wanted, but it's closer. Okay. Already happier about that. And then our image, can we just switch it to 9 by 12? 9 by 11? 9 by 9? Just go square with it. Feels like that might work. So if that goes 9 by 9, then this would probably need to go 1040. Okay. Let's move this down, and then down here. So this goes to aspect ratio 1. This goes to our 16 by... Should we just do the math, like reduce it down, go 8 by 5? Why not, right? Okay. Oh, and then I need to make the flex wrap on the options. Why didn't that work? Flex wrap is wrap. Is why that didn't work, in case anybody was wondering. Okay, so how does this work as we get out of wider sizes? And we need to turn off we'll turn off wrap when we get to 700. Maybe we go 750. Man. Can I cheat this with clever? This isn't going to survive like a longer photo name or a longer photographer name, but maybe those characters will be enough. No. It's like illegible now. What did I do wrong here? Oh, that's right. And then I need this A. How do I just know CSS properties? It like very much metric tons of practice. Um, like this is one of those things that I actually I had this really interesting conversation yesterday where I was talking about like AI coding assistants and that kind of stuff. And one of the things that came up was, you know, they were saying, yeah, well, you can just like tab complete your way through these whole code bases and you know, you don't even need an IDE anymore. And I I realized that like I think the thing for me is that I've been coming to grips with the fact that I am both a professional dev, and sometimes I just need to ship something really fast. And also, I am a hobby dev where I really enjoy doing the thing. And so there's sort of like a work mode and a play mode for me with code. And when I'm in play mode, I want to do stuff the hard way and I want to write it out longhand. And that that repetition of doing things the long way has led to me being like I just know some of this stuff now. And I think of it the same way as somebody who's been playing guitar forever. They aren't thinking about where their fingers are going on the frets. They just know what sound they want to make, and so they can go and make it. And or somebody who sits down at the piano can play something by ear. It's not about thinking about what you're doing. It's about you just play. And the constant repetition for a really long time and the sort of deliberate practice of using these things and remembering, like relying on your memory a bit before you Google and once you Google it, don't copy paste it. Actually write the thing out so that you get that muscle memory of having written it as opposed to just, you know, control C, control V. Um, any of those things that you do starts to build in the muscle memory. And I think that for me, because I've been doing it for so long, I'm I'm just playing when it comes to stuff like CSS and a lot of the JavaScript APIs. Uh, that being said, there are a lot of cases where I wouldn't do what I'm doing right now. If I was on a team, I probably wouldn't be writing CSS the way that I'm writing it because this is very like I'll have to, if I come back to this later, I'm gonna have to think about what I did and why, and I'll have to sort of reverse engineer what I've done. This is not very componentized. This is not very scalable. This is super slapdash, but I like it that way. I like writing, you know, the handcrafted, artisanal, not as effective as it could be, um, just hand rolled CSS. It makes me really happy. If I were doing this on a team, I would be a little more intentional about the way that I'm doing this and where I was doing it. And I might even start reaching for the AI coding assistants because they will follow rules if you provide those rules for them. And you know, I this is why I think teams use Tailwind. It's why teams use component systems and design systems. It's because if you don't have that predictability where everything's done the same way every time, you start to run into these challenges where you know, only I think the way that I think. And if I was doing this and somebody else was in a different part of the code base writing the way that I'm writing right now, zero chance we'd be able to maintain this code base long term. And if we've got 20 people doing that, no hope, right? It would just be too much of a slog to dive in and try to, okay, so who wrote this code? Oh yeah, the way they think about this is they do things like this. And that just doesn't work. You need standards and consistency. And so that's the work mode toggle. Like if I'm handing this off, I'm probably rethinking it and reaching for a design system and simplifying. But this is my personal site. It's supposed to be a mess. It's a playground for me. And so I think that gives me the opportunity to just sort of get in here and write it the long way and do it the hard way. And the benefit of getting in here and doing it the hard way is that this stuff is now in my brain. Like I'm wearing in the pathways where I just know this stuff. And for better or worse, right? That means that now when I look at an element, if I'm looking here and I want it to do something, I just know what the elements are. And that to me is pretty dang cool. So anyways, yeah, artisanal, exactly that. Exactly that. And slapdash is the optimal V1. I agree. I think if you get in there and just like throw like make it work and then you think about what it needs to do. And I'm a big fan of treating a lot of code as like V1 is intentionally a throwaway. I actually, I think write everything twice is a pretty good operating standard for a lot of code, because like the first time I write it, I'm figuring stuff out. And the second time I write it, I know how it's going to end, so I can think more about how it fits together, and the system tends to work better that way. So I really like the idea of like prototyping to work out the thought, and then destroying all the prototype code and building again to think about how it lives forever. And if I were on a team again, that's what I used to do at Netlify, and it's what I encourage people to do when I consult, and it's what I would do if I joined a team again. So where are we at? We need to clean up these links to get rid of the overlays now that we have this. So I'm going to take this part out, and I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to say click to open for download options and details. Okay, so that looks the way I want, but I need to get that says what I want, but I need it to style the way I want. And that's going to live in this figure, in the fig caption. And I'm just going to set this to say paragraph instead. Boom. All right. And then let's justify center. What was that? Where did my mouse just go? Hello? Did this thing just die? Oh man, my mouse died. Do I need this to be like inline size? 100%. That was it. And this is going to be awkward now that my mouse is dead. It is a paragraph, so it has margin, and that, my friends, is good enough for what we're doing today. So let's close this up. Look at it full size. Oh, buddy. Look at it. It's gorgeous. Why didn't that work? Why aren't you centered? Do I care is maybe a better question. So let's set cover. Look at this fig caption. Inline size 100%. Position absolute. Oh, that would make sense. So then this would need to be inline size 100%. What? How are you ending up outside of anything? You know what? I'm just not going to worry about it because it's not worth worrying about. It's close enough. I like it. Are those not focusable? Oh, shit. What does that mean? I need these to be selectable. And the way they're going to be selectable is I need to do aria something list. Man, it really sucks that doesn't work right now. Aria list. Role list item. Does that make anything? That makes it a list. And then this would make it a that do what I want? But that doesn't. Okay. So then we would need this. Okay. So this is going to have to be its own little function. Open modal. And down here, we're going to open modal. Then we're going to duplicate that and say ePress. Okay, so that's better. I assume, so that fixes the accessibility part at least. I have a hunch that this is not 100% correct yet because I don't know if it announces anything. Modals for okay, so let's ship that change. How are we doing on time? We are basically out of time. Why don't I... damn it, I want to fix that Safari thing, but I don't think I have time. I'm gonna, so yeah, if you wanna see how I fix the Safari thing, I guess look at the GitHub repo later today, maybe, or just keep an eye on the repo. Let me share the repo. So this is what we're doing, where we've been working on. You can follow along there for anything you want to see. Have I ever used bubbling? I have used bubbling, and that actually probably is a good idea. So, yeah, good point. I should probably list. Well, I don't know. It's 12 items. It's probably fine in this use case. I think if I was going to add a lot more, I would maybe worry about it. But for a few dozen items, I don't think it matters. So I'm gonna let it be. However, bubbling would be a good solution, especially if I was going to do an unknown number of things. The idea being we could put an event listener on the outside element and then check which thing was clicked and do something based on that. That is a good idea, but I'm not going to do it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it later. If you see anything wrong with the site, please do open issues. It helps me out a lot with keeping track of this stuff. If you have any questions, you can go find me in the Discord. Please do go hang out in the Discord. It's a good time in there. We've got all sorts of fun stuff going on. The Web Dev Challenge just launched. So you can see the new Web Dev Challenge is up on YouTube somewhere in here. And it is weird not having my mouse. Web Dev Challenge, there we go. Let me drop the YouTube list here. And you can all paste, hit enter. You can go watch that there. Please share it with everybody. Tell everybody you know that it's there and it's fun to watch, and that they should also watch it and share it with their friends, because that's how I make my living. Thank you all very much for hanging out today. This has been a blast. I will be back on Thursday. We've got some good stuff going on here. This is the wrong browser. Let's get over to this browser where people actually are. And yeah, so on Thursday, we are going to be learning Lua. If you've never used Lua, Lua is popular in game dev and a handful of other things. But Potch, who is a JavaScript developer by trade, has been learning Lua, and so is going to teach us Lua from the perspective of a JavaScript developer. If you've ever been interested, or even if you're not, it's kind of fun to stretch your brain in these ways. So tune in on Thursday to learn a little bit. And then next week, I'm going to be in London. If you are in London, I am going to be at CityJS. Please do find me. I would love to hang out. If you're at CityJS, come and say hi. If you're not at CityJS, there might still be a chance for you to get in there. So let me see if there are CityJS London. That's the CityJS London thing. If you wanna get into that. And that's it. That's all I got time for. Thank you all so much. We will see you